Chapter 4361. This hidden area was actually connected to the core area, but it had been isolated by a certain power. It could even be said that this hidden area was actually a part of the core area. Recently, that mysterious power had been growing weaker and fainter. The hidden area was also reflected in everyone's eyes. Although they couldn't go in yet, they could see a part of the hidden area from afar. They could vaguely see a few huge mountains crawling on the ground. Mist and desolation filled the air. It was incomparably dense. One of the largest mountain ranges seemed to be shrouded in mist that was even thicker than the high-grade earth veins. A large number of people had gathered outside the hidden area. Of course, most of them were the heavenly human race, the top 10 races, and some smaller races, but there weren't many of them. These smaller races didn't dare compete with the heavenly human race. They just wanted to take a bite of the soup. The heavenly human race and most of the people from the top 10 races were looking at the hidden area with eager eyes. The Taishang Immortal City was divided into 36 star palaces. They were in one of the star palaces. Every star palace would have some magical places slowly emerge after the 30-year period. Some were immortal palaces, some were immortal palaces, some were immortal mountains, etc. Without exception, all of these wondrous places contained great opportunities. The mysterious place that appeared in the star palace they were in should be the hidden area. It contained a large amount of desolation chi. It was also a rare opportunity. Even many people who had reached the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God layer had eager eyes. It didn't mean that desolation pills were useless after reaching the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God layer. Actually, desolation pills were very useful for Great Supreme God layer cultivators. After reaching the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God layer, they could still absorb the energy of desolation pills. When ordinary people cultivated in the Great Supreme God layer, they could create a black hole in their dantian. When they broke through to the Great Supreme God layer, they would create a divine bridge in the black hole. This divine bridge would start from the black hole and extend into the depths of the black hole. It would lead to an eternal unknown place. The longer the divine bridge, the higher the cultivation. When one successfully connected it to the cosmic sea, they would be able to touch the origin and reach the origin realm. When a cultivator had the strength of the 9th Great Supreme God layer, absorbing the desolate pellet could increase the quality of the black hole and improve the control of the black hole in his dantian. The stronger his control over the black hole in his dantian, the easier it would be to construct the divine bridge in the future. In addition, he could also continuously use the energy of the great desolation pills to strengthen his divine body. The stronger the divine body, the more benefits there would be. Therefore, even cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God layer wanted the great desolate pellet. The more great desolate pills, the better. 3 more days. After 3 days, the mysterious force that isolated the hidden area will completely disappear. At that time, I will have enough desolate pills to break through to the 9th Great Supreme God layer. I need to accumulate more great desolate pills to strengthen my foundation and build a solid foundation for the Divine Master Realm. Some of the talents of the heavenly human tribe, including those on the Universe Genius list, had the same thought. What they didn't notice was that not far away, there were 2 figures silently approaching and hiding in the dark, quietly observing. These 2 were naturally Lu Ming and Yi Lin. This time, Lu Ming and Yi Lin didn't plan to bring the Heaven Destroyer with them. They had already done all they could for the Heaven Exterminating Troop. Moreover, they needed a huge amount of desolate pills to break through. This time, they had to obtain enough desolate pills for themselves. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. On this day, the mysterious force completely disappeared. The scene in front of them suddenly became clearer. Swoosh, swoosh. The heavenly human tribe and the members of the top 10 tribes all rushed toward the hidden area. They all wanted to occupy an earth vein with dense, desolate chi. Soon, everyone disappeared into the hidden area. Lu Ming and Yi Lin finally appeared and rushed toward the hidden area. As soon as they entered the hidden area, the 2 of them felt that the desolate chi here was indeed denser. Soon, the 2 of them appeared near a huge mountain range. This mountain range was an earth vein. It should be an ordinary earth vein. At this time, a few smaller tribes were competing for this earth vein. Lu Ming, and Yilin didn't stop. Their target was not an ordinary earth vein, but the highest level earth vein with the densest desolate chi. The two of them continued to fly toward the depths of the hidden area. After flying for a while, they approached an even bigger mountain range. The desolate chi in this mountain range was extremely dense. It was definitely a high-level earth vein. The total amount of desolate chi was even higher than the high-level earth vein in the core area. There were already people fighting for this high-level earth vein. They were two of the top 10 tribes. The hidden area was much smaller than the core area. The number of earth veins in the hidden area was definitely less than that in the core area. Fighting was inevitable. The two of them still didn't stop. Although the concentration of desolate chi in this high-level earth vein was very high, Lu Ming estimated that it should be able to refine more than 2 billion desolate pills. However, the two of them still didn't think much of it. Lu Ming needed 12 billion to break through now. The two of them flew past and continued to search. They didn't even look at the ordinary earth veins. Next, they found a few more high-level earth veins that contained extremely dense desolate chi. Among them, there was a high-level earth vein that contained more than 3 billion desolate pills. It was already occupied by a group of heavenly human tribe experts. The two of them still didn't make a move. They still didn't want more than 3 billion desolate chi. They decided to look around. If there were no higher-level earth veins, they would occupy this one. After circling around, a huge object appeared in front of them. It was a huge mountain range, which was also an earth vein. It was bigger than any earth vein they had seen before. From afar, it was completely shrouded in dense desolate chi. Such dense desolate chi. How many desolate pills can it refine? Yiling sucked in a cold breath. Even a fool could see that the desolate chi in this earth vein was much higher than that of other high-level earth veins. It was not just a little higher, but much higher. This earth vein can refine at least 10 billion desolate pills, right? Yilin said. It should be. This earth vein should be the highest level earth vein in the hidden area, Lu Ming said with a fiery light in his eyes. There was hope for him to break through to the 9th level of the divine god realm, 12 billion. Previously, Lu Ming felt that there was no hope for him. It was impossible for him to collect so many desolate pills. Now there was hope. Chapter 4362. At that moment, several groups of people were fighting for that earth vein. Those people were all from the heavenly human tribe. They were divided into groups and confronted each other. There were more than 100 people in each group, and the leaders were all top prodigies. The heavenly human tribe was not a monolithic entity. On the contrary, the internal competition was more intense than any other tribe. The heavenly human tribe controlled the primordial universe and endless resources. If one had the right to speak in the heavenly human tribe, it was equivalent to controlling the entire primordial universe. Who wouldn't be tempted? Competition, suppression, and even killing each other would happen from time to time. They would only work together when facing a common enemy, like the Heaven Exterminating Army. Once their interests were involved, the competition would be very intense. At that moment, the groups of heavenly human tribe cultivators were confronting each other. The atmosphere was tense, and a battle was about to break out. I saw this earth vein first, so it should be mine. Don't go too far. One of the heavenly human tribe prodigies roared. He looked at the other groups with anger. Ridiculous. You found it first, so it's yours? This is the grand supreme immortal city. It's an ownerless land. Anyone has the right to occupy it. Another prodigy sneered. That's right. If you want to occupy this earth vein, let's talk with strength. The third prodigy said coldly with a strong fighting spirit. There were a total of 4 groups, and the leaders were all top prodigies. The fourth prodigy did not speak, but his cold eyes said everything. However, although the atmosphere was tense, a battle did not break out. If a battle broke out, it would definitely lead to a chaotic battle. The consequences would be unpredictable, and it would be difficult to predict how many people would die. Those people were their subordinates. If they lost too many people, it would be very detrimental to their future development. More importantly, none of them had the ability to suppress the other groups. Once a chaotic battle broke out, things would get out of control. They hesitated and confronted each other, but no battle broke out. Damn it, let's go. In the end, a group of people retreated. Instead of wasting their time here, they might as well occupy another high-level earth vein. The high-level earth veins there generally had richer primordial chi than the high-level earth veins in the core area. It was not a bad idea to occupy one to refine pills. In that case, there were 3 groups of people left. They were still confronting each other and did not fight. How about this? It's not a good idea to just stand here like this. Why don't we split the earth vein equally? Finally, a paragon said, "Split equally?" The other 2 sky prides began to ponder. "All right, I agree. I agree too." Then, the other 2 geniuses nodded in agreement. The great desolate chi in this earth vein was simply too dense. It was estimated to contain at least 10 billion great desolate pills, which was equivalent to 4 or 5 other earth veins. Even if the 3 sides split it equally, it would still be worth it. It all depended on who had more pill furnaces. The more pill furnaces he had, the more desolate pills he would be able to obtain. After the 3 parties finished their discussion, they prepared to fly into the mountain range and start refining pills. In the distance, Lu Ming and Yi Ling both looked disappointed. Originally, they wanted to wait for the heavenly human race to start a civil war so that they could sit on the mountain and reap the benefits. Unexpectedly, one of the 4 batches of heavenly human tribe cultivators withdrew, and the remaining 3 batches divided the earth vein equally. Since their hopes were dashed, they could only make a move. Whoosh, whoosh. The 2 of them turned into 2 streaks of light and charged directly towards the earth vein. "You guys don't have to discuss anymore. I want this earth vein." Lu Ming spoke, and his voice traveled far. His tone was filled with arrogance, which was especially ear-piercing to the ears of the heavenly human race. That was because half of the arrogance were played by the heavenly human race. Since when did someone dare to act like that in front of them? The 3 batches of heavenly human race cultivators looked in the direction of the voice in unison. Then, they saw 2 young men walking in the air, their clothes fluttering in the wind. "Mu Yun, it's you." The heavenly human race cultivators were stunned. Naturally, they recognized Lu Ming at a glance. However, they were really stunned. Lu Ming actually dared to appear in front of them of his own accord? Didn't Lu Ming hide whenever he saw them? What was going on? However, they were soon filled with excitement and greed. Who cared what was going on? Since Lu Ming had appeared in front of them of his own accord, they would just kill him. Killing Lu Ming would be a great contribution. Die. Those who reacted quickly had already attacked. The first one to attack was a young genius. His body was like a shooting star as he flew towards Lu Ming. A long spear appeared in his hand, and he thrust it forward with incredible power. Without a doubt, he was a top genius. He controlled the divine punishment force, had the cultivation of the 8th great supreme god layer, and had the battle strength of 9 stars. He wasn't any weaker than Yi Chu Howen. If Lu Ming hadn't broken through to the 8th great supreme god layer, he would have barely been able to gain the upper hand even if he used his full strength. But now, whoosh, a long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand, and he thrust it forward. The 2 spear lights were like shooting stars as they collided in the air, emitting dazzling light. However, the process only lasted for a moment. Then, the spear light of the genius from the heavenly human tribe was destroyed. Lu Ming's spear light didn't stop. He continued to attack the genius from the heavenly human tribe. Fast, too fast. It was so fast that the genius from the heavenly human tribe couldn't dodge it. Ah, no. The genius from the heavenly human tribe let out an unwilling roar. Then, the spear light pierced through his forehead and destroyed his soul. A top genius from the heavenly human tribe had fallen. The other members of the heavenly human tribe were all shocked, and their hearts trembled violently. They were shocked by Lu Ming's battle strength. As for the demonic genius's underling, he was even more enraged. "You killed Prince Yuan Ing. You're courting death. Kill him. Kill him." The experts from the heavenly human tribe roared furiously as they charged towards Lu Ming and Yi Ling. At the same time, the other 2 groups of people also attacked. This time, they didn't dare to attack alone. They attacked together. Hundreds of attacks flew towards Lu Ming. Among them, there were about 100 cultivators of the 9th layer of the divine god realm. Compared to 20 years ago, There were obviously more ninth layer of the divine god realm experts in the heavenly human tribe. Apparently, many people from the heavenly human tribe had broken through to the ninth layer of the divine god realm. Generally speaking, the lower one's battle strength was, the fewer resources they would need to break through to the next level. In other words, they would need fewer desolation pills. Not just a little, but a lot. Therefore, they would be able to break through to the next level faster. The top geniuses of the heavenly human tribe usually needed a lot of desolation pills. For example, the genius who had been killed by Lu Ming and Yi Chu Haohan, who was at the middle level, were almost as strong as Yi Ling. They controlled the strongest heavenly energy. The number of desolation pills they needed to break through to the next level was no less than Yi Ling's. To break through from the 8th layer of the divine god realm to the 9th layer of the divine god realm, they would need 2 billion desolation pills. Therefore, their cultivation bases were still at the 8th layer of the divine god realm. Chapter 43-63. There were more than 100 ninth layer divine gods, and many of them had 5-star or 6-star fighting strength. Although Lu Ming was facing them alone, he did not take them seriously. However, when so many of them attacked together, it was terrifying. With Lu Ming's current fighting strength, he did not dare to fight them head-on. Retreat. Lu Ming waved his hand, and a force wrapped around Yi Ling. He retreated rapidly and avoided the attacks. Then, he rushed towards the mountain range. Don't let them escape. Kill them. Kill them. More than 300 heavenly human tribesmen charged towards Lu Ming and Yi Ling. At that moment, they seemed to have forgotten that they had just been confronting each other. They gathered together and formed a terrifying force. However, at that moment, Lu Ming and Yi Ling were already close to the mountain range. Lu Ming waved his hand and a black seed flew out like lightning and landed on the mountain range. As soon as the seed touched the soil, it immediately sprouted. Then, it grew at an astonishing speed. The growth speed was incredible. The heavenly human tribesmen who were chasing after them narrowed their eyes in fear. It's that kind of tree. Damn it. Why does he have that kind of tree? Retreat. The heavenly human tribesmen were terrified of the tree. When they saw the tree, their first reaction was to retreat. If they did not retreat, they would be killed. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Hundreds of experts retreated tens of thousands of miles in an instant. That gave the tree more time to grow. Originally, no matter how fast the tree grew, it would take some time. It had just grown, and it was not very powerful. Among the 300 heavenly human tribesmen, there were more than 100 ninth-layer divine gods. They were much stronger than they had been 20 years ago. If they joined forces and attacked the tree before it was fully grown, it would be possible for them to destroy the tree. Unfortunately, they had missed that opportunity. The tree grew rapidly and its branches extended. On the branches, there were more than 10 disaster-avoiding ghosts. When the heavenly human tribesmen reacted, the tree had already grown into a towering tree. Damn it, that kid wants to take over the ley line. We can't let him succeed. The heavenly human tribesmen stood in the distance and looked at Lu Ming with murderous intent. However, they did not dare to charge over. From now on, this earth vein is mine. If the heavenly human tribe dares to come close, I'll kill them all. Lu Ming spoke, his voice clearly transmitted into the ears of the heavenly human tribe. This made the celestial clan even more furious. They gnashed their teeth in hatred. He was too arrogant and simply unforgivable. Let's inform the others and gather the other cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God Layer. We'll set up the 9 Heavens battle formation. We must kill Lu Ming. That's right. He thinks he can do whatever he wants just because he has such a big tree. I won't allow it. Gather the experts and destroy this tree. Angry roars rang out one after another. The anger of these heavenly human tribe members was about to burst out of their chests. Originally, they wanted to wait a little longer to accumulate more experts before dealing with Lu Ming. But now, they couldn't wait any longer. These heavenly humans immediately went to inform the other heavenly humans. They planned to gather all the experts in this star palace and set up the 9 Heavens battle formation to kill Lu Ming. Looks like they won't give up just like that. They'll gather the others and attack together. Yi Ling said. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled, looking calm and composed. He had more than one black seed in his hands now. In addition to the one that he had used, he still had 3 more. If one of the trees couldn't withstand it, he could use the other 3 at the same time. There was enough primitive chi in this earth vein. Even if he used up all the black seeds, it would be worth it. Let's refine the pills first, Lu Ming said. He moved and landed on a flat ground. With a wave of his hand, all the cauldrons flew out and landed on the ground. Then, Lu Ming waved his hands. Waves of forbidden energy flew out and entered the cauldrons. The cauldrons started to absorb the primitive chi to refine the pills. The rich primitive chi in the area gathered toward the cauldrons crazily. Half a day later, the cauldrons were produced. Numerous primitive pills flew out of the cauldrons and were collected by Lu Ming. There are more primitive chi than the high-level earth vein in the core area, but not by much. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He found that the number of primitive pills produced by a cauldron here was slightly more than the high-level earth vein in the core area. However, it was only 30% more. Logically speaking, the primitive chi in this earth vein was several times thicker than the high-level earth vein in the core area. The number of pills produced by the cauldrons should also skyrocket. It should at least double. However, in fact, it was only 30% more. Lu Ming guessed that this was the limitation of the cauldrons. There was a limit to the number of pills produced by each cauldron. It didn't increase as the primitive chi increased. At this limit, no matter how rich the primitive chi was, the number of pills produced would not increase. Lu Ming was slightly disappointed. They only had 20 years to stay in the second level of the Grand Supreme Immortal City. After 20 years, they would have to leave this place to compete for the origin seed. However, at this speed, it was impossible to refine 12 billion primitive pills in 20 years. Let's refine them first. If it doesn't work, we can only think of another way. By the way, there's still that guy's storage ring. Lu Ming pondered, and then a storage ring appeared in his hand. This storage ring belonged to the genius of the heavenly human race. He had led a group of people alone and was extremely talented. He wasn't weaker than Yi Chu Howen. Such a top genius must have a lot of cauldrons. As expected, he didn't disappoint Lu Ming. There were hundreds of cauldrons in this person's storage ring. There were cauldrons with a diameter of 1 meter and 3 meters. Even the primitive pills were worth more than 200 million. It was a big harvest, a really big harvest. More than 200 million primitive pills were nothing. The most important thing was that there were more than 100 cauldrons. What Lu Ming lacked the most now was cauldrons. Because the primitive chi in this earth vein was rich enough and there were enough cauldrons, he just didn't have enough cauldrons to refine it. As long as there were enough cauldrons, he could continuously convert the primitive chi into primitive pills. As expected, this kind of genius has a big harvest. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. This kind of genius led a group of people and had the most resources in their hands. Killing one of them was a big harvest. Unfortunately, this kind of genius was usually very difficult to kill because they were protected by a group of experts. The previous one was completely careless. He underestimated Lu Ming and attacked Lu Ming alone. He wanted to kill Lu Ming alone, but he was killed by Lu Ming. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be that easy to kill such a genius with a group of experts protecting him. Lu Ming put down more than 100 alchemy cauldrons, activated them, and continued to refine elixirs. Chapter 4364. With 100 more cauldrons, Lu Ming's alchemy speed had greatly increased. For more than 10 consecutive days, Lu Ming refined elixirs day and night. After 10 days of alchemy, Lu Ming could roughly estimate the number of pills he could produce in a year. In a year, he could make about 200 million desolation pills. It was still not enough. 200 million in a year. That would be 4 billion in 20 years. It was still far from the 12 billion he wanted. He could only take one step at a time. In the blink of an eye, another 5 days had passed. They're here, Lu Ming muttered as he looked into the distance. In the distance, there were flashes of rainbow light. Many figures were flying over. They were all from the heavenly human tribe. There were more than 1,000 of them. Compared to the other tribes, the number of heavenly human tribe members was small. However, the heavenly human tribe members were too talented. Any one of them would be considered a genius among the other tribes in the universe. Therefore, 1,000 heavenly human tribe members was definitely a terrifying force. Yiling also noticed the heavenly human tribe members. He came to Lu Ming's side and looked serious. Soon, the 1,000 heavenly human tribe members arrived near the earth vein. Their powerful auras changed the color of the sky. Ninth layer divine gods. Set up the 9 heavens battle formation. This time, we must get rid of Mu Yun. Set up the formation. Get rid of Mu Yun. Everyone will benefit. Begin. Many figures were heard. Then, one figure after another stepped out and stood in various parts of the void. Those people were all cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God Layer. 369th Layer Great God Layers. Lu Ming muttered. This time, the heavenly human tribe had sent 360 heavenly human tribe members. It was a grand lineup. 369th Layer divine gods of the heavenly human tribe set up the 9 heavens battle formation. Their auras intertwined and merged, forming a huge figure. This figure was also a heavenly human tribe member. He wore a crown on his head. He was a heavenly human king. He held a battle sword in his hand. His aura was majestic, as if he was the ruler of the universe. He was too tall. Standing in the void, he was even more majestic than a mountain. Boom! He took a step in the air, causing the sky and the ground to tremble. A violent aura rushed towards Lu Ming. The battle sword was 100,000 miles long, and it slashed down towards Lu Ming's head. Such an attack was too terrifying. If it was placed in the starry sky of the universe, it could destroy a large area of the starry sky. Block it. Lu Ming's heart stirred. From the ground, tree roots rushed out. Hundreds of tree roots formed a shield in front of the battle sword. Boom! The battle sword slashed at the shield, causing the shield to shake violently. The roots on the shield were broken one by one. Although it managed to block the attack of the battle sword in the end, the shield made of roots was split in half. It's broken. The tree's defense has been broken. Seeing this scene, all of the heavenly human clansmen were overjoyed. That was because the 9 heavens battle formation had not used its full strength yet. That was because it was just a probing attack. Mu Yun, let's see how you'll die this time. Without the protection of the tree, you'll die without a burial place. Many people shouted coldly, especially Yi Chu Hao Han. He looked ferocious and wanted to crush Lu Ming into ashes. As expected, a tree can't block it. At this moment, Lu Ming whispered. Originally, he had thought that if the tree could block the attack of the heavenly human clansmen, he would not use the other black seeds. After all, those black seeds were very precious and rare. But now, he had to use them. A black seed appeared in Lu Ming's hand, and he threw it on the ground. When the black seed touched the ground, it immediately sprouted and grew rapidly. Seeing this, the eyes of the heavenly human clansmen almost popped out. Damn it, he still has seeds. Attack, attack, kill him in one fell swoop. Quick, the black seed needs time to grow. Activate the battle formation and kill him. Many heavenly human clansmen shouted angrily. The 360 experts at the 9th level of the Great God Realm reacted immediately. They activated the battle formation to kill Lu Ming. The gigantic king of the heavenly human clan immediately brandished his battle sword and slashed towards Lu Ming. At that moment, Lu Ming was not in a hurry. Another black seed appeared in his hand, and he threw it in another direction. It immediately sprouted. When the battle sword slashed down, the first tree attacked again. Hundreds of roots rushed out of the ground and formed a defense. The roots of the tree were cut off, and they immediately grew back. At the same time, some thin roots appeared and intertwined with the thick roots of the first tree. These thinner roots were the roots of the 2 newly planted trees. Even though they had not fully grown yet, they were already very powerful. Furthermore, the tribulation overcoming ghosts also rushed toward the battle swords. This time, the king of the heavenly human clan's battle sword was even more powerful than the previous one. Those crossing disaster ghosts were the first to bear the brunt of the attack. Their bodies trembled violently as they were sent flying one after another. However, that also weakened part of the battle sword's power. The remaining power of the battle sword landed on the shield made of intertwined roots. The shield shook violently, and the roots on it broke one by one. However, in the end, it was blocked. Damn it! Use your full strength. Use your full strength. I'll let you use your full strength. Use your full strength. Use your full strength. Behind them, the geniuses of the heavenly human clan who had not participated in the battle formation shouted furiously. Especially Yi Chu Howen. He almost jumped up. Lu Ming had taken out a third black seed. How many black seeds did he have? He was anxious. Those black seeds were growing too fast. If he delayed any longer, he would miss the opportunity. However, the person who had set up the battle formation had not used his full strength yet. Actually, the people who had set up the battle formation also had their own difficulties. Even though they had successfully set up the Nine Heavens battle formation, they had come from different factions and followed different geniuses. They would compete and kill each other. Although they had learned how to set up the Nine Heavens battle formation, they had never practiced it before. Now that they had set it up at the last minute, it was inevitable that they were a little rusty and could not use it as freely. If they could not use it freely, they could not use it even if they had the strength. That sword strike just now could be considered the most powerful one, unless they were more proficient in the battle formation. With that delay, the two trees planted at the back had already grown rapidly and became towering trees. Although they were not as tall as the first tree, their power was already very shocking. Burn the power of the heavens, quick! One of the heavenly human clan monsters roared and gave the order, use your full strength. The other heavenly human clan monsters also roared. The heavenly human clan members who had set up the battle formation had no choice but to risk their lives. The power of the heavens in their bodies began to burn fiercely. Chapter 4365. The heavenly humans who set up the formation used the power of the heavens to increase the power of the Nine Heavens battle formation. The heavenly human king's aura became even more terrifying. He waved his incomparably huge battle sword and slashed it down again as if he was going to split the entire earth vein in half. However, there were already 3 trees here. The other 2 trees were almost mature. Hundreds of roots danced in the air. It was a shocking scene. The roots gathered together. This time, they did not form a shield. Instead, they intertwined with each other to form a giant staff. It was a giant staff that was completely formed by intertwining roots. The giant staff struck out toward the opponent's battle sword. However, almost 50 calamity-avoiding ghosts had already flown out in front of the giant staff and charged toward the battle sword. Boom! Boom! The third clash erupted. This time, the heavenly human tribe went all out. Although the power of the Nine Heavens battle formation was stronger, it was still able to withstand the attacks of the Nine Heavens battle formation with the help of the 3 trees. In fact, it was even easier than the previous 2 times. After all, the 3 trees were now mature and powerful. Damn it! Damn it! The heavenly humans roared in anger and indignation. In the end, they ordered the heavenly humans to retreat. They had already burned the power of the heavens earlier, but they still could not break through the defense of the 3 trees. There was no need to continue attacking. The aftereffects of burning the power of the heavens were too great. After the Nine Heavens battle formation moved back and out of the attack range of the trees, they dispersed the Nine Heavens battle formation. The figure of the heavenly human king dissipated in the air. What should we do now? Someone asked. I didn't expect that kid to have so many black seeds. I really don't know how he got them. Yi Chu Howen said in an extremely displeased manner. The 3 trees are not invincible. The main thing is that the Nine Heavens battle formation that we set up is not very smooth and can't fully unleash the power of the Nine Heavens battle formation. I suggest that we spend some time to familiarize ourselves with the Nine Heavens battle formation and practice it a few more times. That way, when the Nine Heavens battle formation can operate freely, its power will increase greatly, and we will definitely be able to break through the defense of the 3 trees. A heavenly human prodigy suggested. I agree. I agree too. The others nodded in agreement. Then, they began to practice their battle formations. They didn't plan to avoid Lu Ming. They practiced not far away, deliberately letting Lu Ming see them. In this way, It would create a huge psychological pressure on Lu Ming, causing Lu Ming to be unable to refine pills in peace. Swish, swish. 360 cultivators of the ninth great supreme god layer were moving in the air. Their chi was boiling. It seemed like there was a special thread connecting the 360 cultivators of the ninth great supreme god layer. A huge figure condensed and swung its sword continuously. After a few hours of practice, the battle formation dispersed again. After everyone rested for a while, they resumed their practice. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed. As the heavenly human tribe continued to practice the battle formation, their coordination became more and more coordinated. The power of the battle formation also increased rapidly. If this continued, when the battle formation was operating at its peak, it might really be able to break through the defenses of the three trees. Far away in the sky, Yichu Haohan and a few other top prodigies looked at Lu Ming coldly. They seemed to be telling Lu Ming to wait and see. It won't be long before they kill him. These people are really endless. I can only make you despair then. Lu Ming's face was a little gloomy. Then, a black seed appeared in his hand. He had a total of 4 black seeds. Now, he took out the 4th one. With a wave of his hand, the black seed flew out and landed on the ground. Then, it started to grow rapidly. In the distance, the heavenly human tribe who were practicing the 9 heavens battle formation stopped and stared in Lu Ming's direction with their eyes wide open. The other heavenly human tribe members who didn't participate in the 9 heavens battle formation were also stunned. Their eyes were wide open as they stared in Lu Ming's direction. Anger, confusion, indignation, and other emotions appeared in their eyes. Ah, damn it. Finally, Yichu Haohan couldn't take it anymore. He looked up to the sky and roared. His golden hair fluttered in the wind. He looked crazy and helpless. He was really going crazy. He had been tortured by Lu Ming. Every time they were about to see the hope of killing Lu Ming would personally destroy this hope in the blink of an eye. It was too uncomfortable and too aggrieved. Mu Yun, don't rely on the tree if you have guts. Fight with your own strength. What's the point of relying on external objects? Yichu Haohan shouted. If relying on external objects isn't a skill, then defeating me with your numbers and suppressing me with a battle formation is a skill? If you want to fight with your own strength, fine. Come on, let's fight one-on-one. Lu Ming said indifferently, full of sarcasm. Yichu Haohan shut his mouth. His face was red, but he didn't dare to fight. Previously, a genius who was as powerful as him was killed by Lu Ming. How could he dare to fight with him? Unless his cultivation broke through to the 9th level of the divine god realm. Unfortunately, he was still a little lacking. He didn't have enough chaotic pills. Trash. If you don't dare to fight, then shut up. Lu Ming scolded. Ah. Yichu Haohan roared and almost vomited blood. The faces of the other heavenly humans were also very ugly. They stared at Lu Ming as if they were going to skin Lu Ming alive. Lu Ming's face was calm. In just a short while, the 4th tree had grown into a towering tree. There were a total of 4 trees standing on the ground, like 4 majestic guards. The people of the heavenly humans were troubled. The defensive power of the 3 trees was already extremely terrifying, but there was one more tree. Even if they practiced the 9 heavens battle formation to perfection, they might not be able to break the defense of the 4 trees. The most important thing was that they didn't know if Lu Ming had any more black seeds. The black seeds in Lu Ming's hands seemed to be endless. They were very tired. In the end, the people of the heavenly humans discussed for a while and prepared to retreat. Of course, they wouldn't give up so easily. They were thinking of other ideas. That was because in the last 20 years, the space barriers between the different star palaces would become weaker and weaker. Some powerful beings would even be able to cross the star palaces and travel between the different star palaces to obtain opportunities. They were waiting for the space barriers between the star palaces to weaken so that they could find other heavenly humans in the other star palaces to deal with Lu Ming. After the heavenly humans retreated, Lu Ming and Yi Ling returned to the earth vein and continued to refine chaotic pills. Lu Ming's rhythm had returned to normal. As he refined the desolate pill, he comprehended various secret skills. In the blink of an eye, another 10 years passed. In 10 years, Lu Ming had obtained 2 billion chaotic pills. In addition to the remaining 200 million and the 200 million he got from the heavenly humans, he had 4 billion chaotic pills. Chapter 4366. However, Lu Ming still owed Yiling 500 million desolation pills. After returning the 500 million desolation pills to Yiling, Lu Ming still had 9 billion desolation pills left. However, Yiling had collected enough desolation pills for his breakthrough. He began to refine the desolation pills and began to break through. As long as he had enough desolation pills, breaking through was not a problem. 10 days later, Yiling had consumed more than 2 billion desolation pills and successfully reached the 9th layer of the Divine God Realm. After reaching the 9th layer of the Divine God Realm, Yiling's combat strength had increased tremendously. He was no weaker than the current Lu Ming and could be considered a top divine god. Lu Ming, I'll give you all the desolation pills that I'll refine later. I hope you can break through the 9th layer of the Divine God Realm soon and become an invincible divine god. Yiling said to Lu Ming. Thank you. Lu Ming nodded and did not refuse. The desolation pills were too important to him. As long as he broke through to the 9th layer of the Divine God Realm, he would be almost invincible in the Divine God Realm. It was very important for him to fight for the origin seed later. He really needed the desolation pills. He understood that even though Yiling had reached the 9th layer of the Divine God Realm, the desolation pills were still very useful to him. They could solidify the black hole in his dantian, strengthen his control over the black hole, and increase the strength of his divine body. Therefore, this was a great kindness that he would remember in his heart. If there was a chance, he would repay Yiling more, but now was not the time to be courteous. Yiling did not say much. He returned to his previous place and continued to refine pills. There are still 10 years. Even if I add Yiling's pills, it's still too late. I have to think of another way. Lu Ming whispered. He now had 9 billion desolation pills. He was still 1 billion away from the 12 billion he needed to break through. In the next 10 years, even if he injured Yiling, he would not be able to gather 1 billion. After some time, I'll go out and see if I can get more pill furnaces, Lu Ming thought. His target was, of course, the heavenly human tribe. He wanted to see if he could sneak attack them and steal some pill furnaces. It would be best if he could get some desolation pills. Lu Ming still had dozens of ordinary secret arts that he hadn't finished comprehending yet. He planned to finish comprehending all the secret arts he had on hand before going out for a walk. At this time, a certain void in the core area suddenly distorted. After a few flashes, a group of figures appeared. There were only 13 of them. All of them were from the heavenly human tribe. The leader was a young heavenly human tribe member. The remaining 12 people were all in their prime. Their auras were extremely shocking. They were like volcanoes that had yet to erupt, containing terrifying energy. Is this the mighty Sky Star Palace? I wonder what kind of miraculous place will appear in the Prestige Star Palace. You guys, go and investigate. If you find anything, come back and report to me. The young man from the heavenly human tribe said. Yes. The 12 burly men accepted the order and left in a flash. The young man from the heavenly human tribe waited on the spot. He didn't have to wait for too long before the 12 of them all returned. Yeah, I did. To the north of this place, there's a hidden area with high-level earth-string energy that's extremely rich in your wild's chi. A middle-aged man said, There's actually a hidden area. Interesting. Let's go take a look. The young man from the heavenly human tribe said. Immediately, the young man from the heavenly human tribe led the 12 men to the hidden area. In the hidden area, above a high-level earth-string energy. This high-level earth-string energy was also extremely rich in your wild's chi. In the hidden area, it was second only to the one occupied by Lu Ming. It was estimated that all of the Your Wild's chi had been condensed into Your Wild's pills. There were at least 5 billion of them. This place was occupied by 2 groups of heavenly human tribe members. The leaders of each group were top prodigies who were not weaker than Yi Chu Howen. The young men from the heavenly human tribe from the other astral palaces led the 12 burly men to the vicinity of this earth-string energy. Looking at the earth-string energy that was filled with your wild's chi, the young man from the heavenly human tribe's eyes lit up with greed. Ha ha ha, there's actually an earth string with such rich your wild's chi. This earth string energy is mine. The young man from the heavenly human tribe, Yalu-gu, said. They didn't stop and directly headed toward the earth string energy. Who's there? Stop right there. This is the territory of the heavenly human tribe. How dare you? A cold shout was heard. Following that, a dozen figures shot up into the sky and arrived in front of Yalu-gu and the others. They were the elites of the heavenly human tribe. However, when the elites of the heavenly human tribe saw Yalu-gu, their expressions changed drastically. Young Master Yalu-gu, why are you in the Prestige Star Palace? The elites of the heavenly human tribe were shocked. Their eyes were filled with reverence, as if they were afraid of Yalu-gu. Why can't I be here? Now that the barrier between the astral palaces is getting weaker, I naturally crossed the barrier to come here. Whose men are you? Ask your master to come out and tell him that I want this earth string energy, Yalu-gu said lightly. His voice was heard far away. The elites of the heavenly human tribe looked troubled. Yalu-gu, aren't you being too overbearing? You want to occupy our earth string energy as soon as you arrive? That's right. You've gone too far. Two youthful voices were heard. Following that, two groups of people flew out from two different locations of the earth string energy. The two elites who had spoken just now were the leaders. Their talent and combat strength were not weaker than Yi Chu Howen's. The two groups of people added up to more than 200. It was a grand scene. However, Yalu-gu's expression was as calm as ever, as though he didn't see anything. He calmly spoke. In the supreme immortal city, there's no such thing as going overboard. There's no such thing as tyrannical. There's only strength. Everything depends on strength. Yalu-gu's chi exploded out of his body. You've already reached the 9th great supreme god layer. The expressions of the two geniuses changed greatly. They knew how strong Yalu-gu was. Yalu-gu had 10 stars of battle strength. They had 9 stars of battle strength and were considered the top elites of the heavenly human tribe. However, Yalu-gu was stronger than them. He had 10 stars of battle strength. 10 stars of battle strength was rare even among the elites of the heavenly human tribe. He was one of the few who stood at the top of the pyramid. Moreover, he had reached the 9th great supreme god layer. His battle strength was terrifying. Ordinary 9th great supreme god layers would not be able to withstand a single blow from him. Their advantage in numbers was useless in front of Yalu-gu. Moreover, they could not use the 9 heavens battle formation against Yalu-gu because Yalu-gu was extremely proficient in the 9 heavens battle formation. He knew all the strengths, weaknesses, and operating methods of the 9 heavens battle formation. The 9 heavens battle formation could not do anything to Yalu-gu. They could not do anything against Yalu-gu. You'd better leave and give up the earth string energy. Otherwise, it will affect the harmony between us. Yalu-gu said indifferently. The other two wanted to curse out loud. He was going to occupy their earth string energy, and he still said that it would affect the harmony between them? Shameless. Yalu-gu, didn't you want the earth string energy? Actually, there's an even higher grade earth string energy here. One of the sky prides rolled his eyes and said, Chapter 4367. The eyes of the others also lit up. They understood what this prodigy meant. Getting someone else to do the dirty work. There's a higher level ley line? Don't think you can fool me. Yalu-gu said, his eyes flickering. Whether it's true or not, you'll know once you go there. How can I fool you? Let me tell you, the total amount of desolation chi contained in that ley line is at least twice as much as this one. Also, you'll be very interested in the person who occupies that ley line. He's Mu Yun. A prodigy said, What? Mu Yun. Upon hearing Mu Yun's name, Yalu-gu's eyes lit up with the flames of greed. Is what you said true? Is it really Mu Yun? Yalu-gu asked again, his breathing becoming a little rapid. How exciting. It's Mu Yun. As long as I kill Mu Yun, I can be conferred the title of Son of Heaven. Although he had a 10-star combat strength, he still wasn't qualified to be the Son of Heaven. That was because the Son of Heaven or Daughter of Heaven had at least an 11-star combat strength. He was still one step away. Although it was just one step, it was still a huge gap. Perhaps he would never be able to cross that step and become the son of heaven. However, as long as he killed Lu Ming, he would immediately succeed. It's true. The others nodded. Mu Yun. The greed in Yelu Ji's eyes became even more intense. However, he quickly suppressed it. He thought of a problem. Yelu Gu glanced at the others coldly and said, "If Mu Yun is here, won't you go and kill him?" He didn't believe that anyone could resist the temptation of being the son of heaven or daughter of heaven. We went, but we couldn't kill him. Mu Yun controlled a strange tree with terrifying power. A prodigy explained. A tree? Haha, in my opinion, you guys are too useless. Go lead the way. Mu Yun is mine, Yelu Gu said in a commanding tone. The two prodigies were extremely unhappy, but they didn't show it. It's good that you can deal with Mu Yun. It's best if both sides are injured. I'll let you guys fight each other. The two geniuses of the heavenly human tribe thought unhappily. Naturally, they wouldn't refuse. They led the way and headed towards the earth vein where Lu Ming was. Soon, the earth meridian that Lu Ming was in appeared in front of them. Staring at the vast earth vein, Yelu Ji's eyes burned with passion. His gaze was as sharp as lightning, piercing through layers of space and accurately landing on Lu Ming. Mu Yun. After seeing Lu Ming, Yelu Ji's eyes were incomparably fiery, like two burning flames. Above the earth vein, Lu Ming naturally discovered Brother Yelu. You're here again. I didn't go looking for you, but you came by yourselves. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a trace of hostility. Mu Yun, come out and face your death. Yelu Gu stepped out, moving closer to the earth vein. You want to kill me? Come, I'll wait for you here. Lu Ming's voice echoed in the distance. Don't think you can do whatever you want with a few trees. The others can't kill you because they are trash. You won't be able to be smug in front of me. Yelu Gu snapped coldly and increased his speed, aiming to kill Lu Ming. Brother Yelu, wait a moment. Let us clear the path for you. We'll go first, Brother Yelu. There's no need to take the risk. The 12 muscular men that Yelu Gu brought with him blurted out and chased after Qin Nan. Yelu Gu nodded and did not force himself. He let the 12 muscular men go first while he followed behind from afar. What a pity. Lu Ming let out a sigh. He initially thought that if Yelu Gu were to rush over, he would control the 4 trees to eliminate Yelu Gu. He could tell that Yelu Ji's identity was definitely not ordinary. Such a person would surely have a large number of cauldrons. If he could eliminate Yelu Gu, his speed of refining the desolation pills would greatly increase. Unfortunately, Yelu Gu was being too cautious. Wait, the heavenly human tribe doesn't seem to be on good terms with each other. If that's the case, I can't pretend to be weak first. Lu Ming's heart stirred as he thought of an idea. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Yelu Ji's 12 subordinates gathered together and rushed towards Lu Ming. These 12 people were all at the 9th layer divine god realm, and their battle strength was extremely strong. All of them had 6 stars of battle strength. If one's battle strength did not reach a certain level, it would be difficult to break through the barrier between star palaces. These 12 people were able to break through the barrier between star palaces and follow Yelu Gu to the prestige star palace. Die! Lu Ming shouted softly. The ground shook and densely packed roots rushed out, sweeping toward the 12 burly men. The 4 huge trees were activated by Lu Ming. Close to 400 root hairs swept toward the 12 heavenly human tribe warriors at the same time. The scene was extremely astonishing. Formation. The 12 muscular men formed the 9 heavens battle formation and condensed a huge battle sword. The battle sword slashed out and turned into hundreds of sword lights, slashing towards the roots. Although there were only 12 of them, they were all elites. All of them possessed 6-star combat strength, and a few of them even possessed 7-star combat strength. The 9 heavens battle formation formed by the 12 of them was extremely powerful. Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions sounded and the roots were cut off by the sword lights. Die! The 12 muscular men shouted angrily and rushed towards Lu Ming. Dazzling sword lights slashed towards Lu Ming. They wanted to kill Lu Ming in one fell swoop. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically, and he roared furiously. Dozens of crossing disaster ghosts dashed out toward the 12 burly men and collided with the sword gleams that they condensed. Only then did they manage to block the sword gleams of the heavenly human tribe. That's all there is to it, Yalugu sneered. The other heavenly human tribe members were confused. That's not right. Why did the power of the 4 trees weaken? When we attacked back then, the power of the trees was much stronger. The thought crossed the minds of the other 2 geniuses. Then, they wondered if Lu Ming was deliberately showing weakness. Should they remind Yalugu? The 2 leading sky prides of the heavenly human tribe looked at each other and chose to remain silent. The competition between the heavenly human tribe was also incomparably fierce. Yalugu's talent was a level higher than theirs, suppressing them in every aspect. The resources he obtained were also more than theirs. If they could get rid of Yalugu with Lu Ming's help, wouldn't their competition be reduced? As for whether it would help Lu Ming, they didn't think about it. There were many powerful cultivators in the heavenly human tribe. In the heavenly palace, there were the 9 sons and daughters of the heavens. Even if they couldn't kill Lu Ming, someone would kill Lu Ming sooner or later. If they could get rid of Yalugu with Lu Ming's help, why wouldn't they? Therefore, they chose to remain silent. Since the 2 leading sky prides didn't speak, their subordinates naturally wouldn't speak either. Chapter 4368. You guys block these trees. I'll go kill Mu Yun. Yalugu ordered the 12 burly men. Don't worry, young master. Leave these 4 trees to us. We'll definitely block these trees. The 12 burly men replied confidently. They felt that they had figured out the strength of the 4 trees through the previous exchange. Swoosh, swoosh. They attacked with all their might, activating the 9 heavens battle formation. Dazzling sword light burst out, slashing towards the dozens of crossing disaster ghosts and hundreds of roots. Yalugu had already made his move. He took a step forward, as if teleporting, and pounced towards Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. So strong. Lu Ming squinted his eyes slightly. As soon as Yalugu struck, he felt tremendous pressure. He had a feeling that he was not Yalugu's opponent in a head-on confrontation. However, he did not plan to attack himself. He stood there calmly, waiting for Yalugu to come closer. In an instant, Yalugu was about to reach Lu Ming. His body was shrouded in a layer of terrifying energy. This was the heavenly extermination energy. Now, kill, Lu Ming shouted, ordering the 4 trees to attack with all their might. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The roots of the trees suddenly danced wildly, their power skyrocketing. They swept out, shattering the sword light formed by the 12 burly men. At the same time, under Lu Ming's feet, more than a dozen roots rushed out from the ground, like a dozen long snakes, sweeping towards Yalugu. That terrifying aura caused Yalugu's expression to change drastically, becoming incomparably unsightly. That was because those roots brought him a fatal crisis. Destroy! Yalugu roared. Both of his palms struck out in succession. Several grayish palm imprints blasted out, aiming at the dozen or so roots. The grayish palm print was completely formed by the power of heavenly extermination, and it collided with the dozen or so roots. In an instant, heaven and earth shook violently, and the force swept out in all directions. However, the next few palm prints were destroyed by the dozen roots. The roots did not stop, continuing to bombard Yalugu. Damn it! Yalugu bellowed in anger. He couldn't care less about killing Lu Ming as he retreated rapidly. He already understood that just now Lu Ming had been feigning weakness in order to draw him closer. The power of the 4 giant trees was far more terrifying than he had imagined. Since they couldn't kill Lu Ming, they could only retreat. However, how could Lu Ming let him retreat? Some of the roots that had been fighting with the 12 burly men earlier had already rushed over. No matter how hard the 12 men tried, they couldn't stop the roots. At least 100 roots swept towards Brother Yalu. Yalugu was surrounded from all directions. Countless roots were trying to envelop him. Yalugu roared. His palms turned completely gray, as if they were made of gray metal. His strongest attack was his palm technique. Boom. Boom, boom. He continuously attacked with his palms, and in an instant, dozens of palm prints were blasted out. Each palm print was as large as a small mountain, blocking him from all directions. The roots of the giant trees slammed into the palm prints, causing a violent explosion. The palm prints kept shaking and crumbling one after another. Whoosh! Finally, a root broke through the blockade of the palm prints and whipped towards Yalu-gu. Yalu-gu was hit, and his body was almost split in half. He spat out blood and his face was pale. "Why aren't you helping Yalu-gu? How dare you leave him to die? I'll sue you when we get out." One of the 12 men shouted angrily at the other two groups of people. "Do it." The two sky prides ordered. Indeed, the heavenly human tribe had always been united in the face of a common enemy. If they didn't help Yalu-gu get killed, they would also be punished if word got out. The other two groups of people attacked. Hundreds of attacks were launched towards the roots. However, it was too late to do anything now. The 4 giant trees had a total of nearly 400 roots, and there were nearly 50 disaster-avoiding ghosts. As long as a part of them blocked the attacks of these people, the attacks on Yalu-gu didn't stop or weaken at all. No matter how strong Yalu-gu was, he was only one person. He couldn't resist the attacks of hundreds of roots. He tried his best, but he could only resist for a few breaths. After a few breaths of time, his attack was broken, and the tendrils shot toward Brother Yelu. Yalu-gu let out an unwilling roar and tried to resist, but it was useless. He was continuously whipped by more than a dozen roots, and his body exploded. Then, his flesh and blood were completely devoured by the roots. Only a storage ring was left in Lu Ming's hand. "Ah, damn it. Mu Yun, you dare to kill Yalu-gu. Your fate will be miserable. You're dead. Your family and friends are all dead." The 12 men roared as if they had gone crazy. "I think you're the ones who are dead," Lu Ming said coldly. In an instant, hundreds of roots and dozens of disaster-avoiding ghosts attacked the 12 men. With a loud bang, the 9 heavens battle formation set up by the 12 men collapsed. Then, hundreds of roots attacked together. The 12 men didn't even have time to scream before they were killed. Their flesh and blood were completely devoured. Lu Ming stepped out. Like a bolt of lightning, he flashed through the air and grabbed the storage rings of the 12 men. "Retreat! Retreat!" The other two groups of people quickly retreated and disappeared without a trace. After the battle calmed down, there were 13 storage rings in Lu Ming's hand. "Let's see the harvest." Lu Ming quickly did a count. In the end, Lu Ming found a total of nearly 300 alchemy furnaces in the 13 storage rings. This was an extremely shocking harvest. Lu Ming was ecstatic. With 300 pill furnaces, he could refine at least 100 million chaos pills every year. This allowed Lu Ming's annual output to reach 300 million chaos pills. He was one step closer to his goal. Hunting the heavenly human tribe is still profitable. If there are a few more of them, I'll definitely be able to gather the chaos pills I need to break through in 10 years. Lu Ming thought. However, it was only a thought. If it weren't for the 4 trees, it would be impossible to kill an expert like Yalu-gu. After leaving this place, it would be impossible for Lu Ming to kill the other geniuses of the heavenly human tribe. Lu Ming activated the 300 pill furnaces together and began to refine pills. A few days later, some of the geniuses of the heavenly human tribe gathered together and began to discuss how to deal with Lu Ming. "We can't leave Mu Yun alone. He's getting more and more pill furnaces. If this continues, his cultivation will increase and he'll be harder to deal with." That's right. The barrier between the star palaces is getting weaker and weaker. Let's go to the other star palaces to find help. It's best if we can find the sons or daughters of heaven to kill Mu Yun. I have no objections. I agree. Chapter 4369. Now, some of the barriers between the star palaces had become weak. Those who were powerful could already break through the space and enter other star palaces. Some powerful elites had already started to cross the star palaces to fight for opportunities. The mighty star palace was the star palace where Lu Ming and the others were. A few elites of the heavenly human tribe came to a space barrier and tore through the space to find other elites of the heavenly human tribe. Lu Ming and Yi Ling were still in the earth vein, trying their best to condense the desolation pill. A few months later, Lu Ming had finished comprehending all the ordinary secret skills. They had all turned into secret skill runes and merged with his cells. Unfortunately, his combat power was still at the limit of 12 stars. He had not broken through to 13 stars. Of course, it was also because the secret skills that he had comprehended were only at the beginner level. They were far from reaching the greater success level. There were close to 20,000 ordinary secret skills that were still at the beginner level. Lu Ming believed that once he mastered all these ordinary secret skills, his combat power should be able to reach 13 stars. However, it would take a long time and effort to master all 20,000 ordinary secret skills. He had no time to cultivate them now. He could only wait until he left the Grand Supreme Immortal City and slowly comprehend them. At this time, Lu Ming planned to go out for a walk. However, before Lu Ming could make a move, someone else had already arrived. Needless to say, it was the heavenly human tribe again. Lu Ming looked into the distance and saw a group of heavenly human tribe members coming over. There were about a dozen young heavenly human tribe members in the lead. They were all handsome and handsome. There were both men and women. One look, and one could tell that they were extraordinary. Behind them were more than 200 strong heavenly human tribe members. Their auras were also very powerful. They were all elites. These heavenly human tribe members stopped in the distance and glanced at Lu Ming. "Mu Yun, come out and die." A burly young heavenly human tribe member stepped out. His eyes were unusually cold. "Come in and die if you dare," Lu Ming shouted. Of course, he would not go out. "You dared to kill my brother, Yelu Gul. I will make you suffer a fate worse than death," the burly young man shouted. This young man was Yelu Ge's older brother, Yelu D. "You sure talk a lot of nonsense. Your brother talks as much nonsense as you, and in the end, he died. If you have the ability, then come in and kill me." Lu Ming immediately retorted, "Humph, do you think we can't do anything to you if you hide inside?" Yelu D said coldly, then waved his hand. "Bring them out." Immediately, a few burly heavenly human tribe men came out with two people. Upon seeing these two people, Lu Ming's pupils suddenly shrank. "Dandan, Ling Yue," Lu Ming muttered and frowned. That's right, these two people were Dandan and Ling Yue. They had always been in the heavenly palace, but now that they were pushed out by the people of the heavenly human tribe, Lu Ming had a bad premonition in his heart. Dandan had a crying face. When he saw Lu Ming, he immediately shouted, "All right, Mu Yun, so you're here. Back then, you borrowed a few hundred stalks of divine medicine from me and then disappeared without a trace. I've been looking for you for hundreds of years, but I couldn't find you. Now, hurry up and return the divine medicine to me, otherwise, don't blame me for falling out with you." After saying that, Dandan turned to the celestial tribe and said with a smile, "Lords of the celestial tribe, let me tell you, this Mu Yun is ungrateful. I helped him a few times because he was an honest person. I didn't expect him to be so ungrateful. Today, I'm breaking off all relations with him. Bah, I wasn't familiar with him before." Dandan did his best to distance himself from Lu Ming. As for Ling Yue, she was in charge of looking at Lu Ming. She bit her lips and didn't say a word. "Humph, don't talk nonsense here. We are very clear about the relationship between the two of you and Mu Yun." Yelu D coldly snorted and interrupted Dandan's words. Then, Yelu D looked at Lu Ming and said, "Mu Yun, you have stayed in the heavenly palace before, so you should be clear that the two of them are controlled by the restrictive power of the heavenly palace's armor. Right now, the method to control that restrictive power is in my hands." At this point, an array disc appeared in Yelu D's hand and he continued, "As long as I have a thought, the restrictive power in their bodies will explode. At that time, their bodies and souls will be destroyed, and nothing will be left behind." Lu Ming's expression was extremely ugly. What he was worried about still happened. When he first joined the heavenly palace, he, Dandan, and Ling Yue were too close. Furthermore, he and Ling Yue were still an unmarried couple in name, so it was very easy for the heavenly palace to grab hold of them. Although he had broken through the power of the heavenly palace's armor and left the heavenly palace, he had always been worried about Dandan and Ling Yue. afraid that the heavenly palace would deal with them. Sure enough, the people of the heavenly palace were starting to threaten him with Dandan and Ling Yue. Mu Yun, so what if you're hiding inside and have 4 big trees protecting you? Now, I'll let your friend and your fiancé go in and kill you. Let's see if you have the courage to kill them all. Yalu Di laughed coldly. His laughter was extremely sinister. Then, his gaze swept towards Dandan and Ling Yue, and he berated, "Now, the 2 of you go over and bring Mu Yun's head over. Let me tell you, if you don't kill Lu Ming, then you will die under the power of the restriction, and your bodies and souls will be destroyed. Nest, you guys are too despicable. If you have the ability, then go and kill him yourself. Using such a method, aren't you afraid of being ridiculed by the world? I finally know your heavenly human race. The word despicable is tailor-made for you guys." Dandan shouted. "How dare you?" Yalu Di shouted loudly. His figure flashed and appeared in front of Dandan. With a slap, he sent Dandan flying a few meters away and berated, "You dare to insult the heavenly human race. Do you know that this is a great crime that will exterminate your race? Be careful that the world's divine turtle race will be exterminated because of you." F***ck. Dandan roared in his heart. His eyes flashed with a fierce light as he stared fiercely at Yalu Di. Who was he? When had someone dared to slap him? He was incomparably furious. If his life wasn't in the other party's hands, he would have immediately gone all out. "Lu Ming, what should we do?" At this moment, Yiling appeared beside Lu Ming and asked Lu Ming in a low voice. Lu Ming didn't say anything. His face was incomparably gloomy. To be honest, he didn't know what to do either. This was a dilemma. The people of the heavenly human race had forced Lu Ming and Ling Yue to kill him. Could he control them to attack Dandan and Ling Yue? Even if he controlled the big tree and didn't kill Dandan and Ling Yue, but only controlled them, the heavenly human race would probably activate the power of the restriction to kill Dandan and Ling Yue. However, if he didn't resist, he would be killed. How should he choose? On one side was the lives of Dandan and Ling Yue, and on the other side was his own life. Of course, he didn't want to die, but he also didn't want Dandan and Ling Yue to die. However, for a moment, he couldn't think of a way to solve this problem. Chapter 4370. He had no way to solve this problem. Although he could rely on his taboo power to refine the restriction power contained in the Heavenly Palace battle armor, he couldn't help others refine it. Even if he controlled Dandan and Ling Yue, he couldn't help them refine it. "I'll give you 3 breaths of time. Hurry up and make your move. If you don't, you'll be the ones to die," Yalu Di said coldly. He raised the array disc in his hand and injected his power into it. The array disc lit up and runes filled the air. Dandan and Ling Yue's bodies trembled slightly. Runes also appeared on the surface of their skin. "Wait a minute, I didn't say I wouldn't make a move. What are you so anxious about?" Dandan shouted. "Then make your move," Yalu Di said. "We can make a move, but I have a condition," Dandan shouted. "What condition?" Yalu Di asked with a gloomy face. At this time, this guy actually dared to negotiate with him. He was very unhappy. "Give me 300 pill furnaces with a diameter of 1 meter and 10 pill furnaces with a diameter of 3 meters. We'll kill Mu Yun," Dandan said. What did you say?" Yalu Di shouted, thinking that he had heard wrongly. At this time, Dandan actually made such a condition with him. Was he crazy? Didn't he know that his life was in his hands? "You should have heard what I said very clearly," Dandan said. "Do you think it's possible?" Yalu Di sneered. "Why is it impossible? You should know Mu Yun. He is ruthless, lawless, and extremely selfish. Although I have some friendship with him, if I kill him, he will definitely kill us without hesitation in order to protect himself. I am risking my life to kill him. Shouldn't I get some reward?" Dandan said. In the distance, Lu Ming was speechless. Bullshit. Yalu Di wanted to curse out loud. Dandan was talking nonsense. They had long since investigated Lu Ming and knew that Lu Ming was an extremely loyal person. He would definitely not attack his own people, especially Ling Yue, who was Lu Ming's fiancé. They were certain that Lu Ming wouldn't make a move, which was why they let Dandan and Ling Yue kill Lu Ming. "Little bastard, hurry up and go." You have no right to negotiate with me. Yalu D berated. You don't want to give it to me, right? If you don't want to give it to me, then activate the power of the restriction and kill us right now. Let's see how you're going to kill Mu Yun after you kill us. You must know that the merit of killing him is far more than the value of these pill furnaces. Dandan said as he crossed his arms, looking like he was saying, kill me if you want. Ling Yue also nodded her head, as if Dandan's intentions were her intentions. Damned ant. Yelu D roared in his heart as killing intent burst out from his body. He wished that he could kill Dandan and Ling Yue with 2 slaps, but he couldn't. He had to rely on Dandan and Ling Yue to kill Lu Ming. Above the earth vein, Lu Ming was also somewhat puzzled. He couldn't guess what Dandan's goal was. However, he understood Dandan and knew that Dandan was very smart. There must be a reason for him to do this. Agree to him first. At this time, another heavenly human clan genius said. This person was a woman with waist-length blonde hair. She was extremely beautiful. At this time, a peerless genius who was not weaker than Yelu D also had a combat strength of 10 stars. Amongst the younger generation of geniuses in the heavenly human clan, having a combat strength of 10 stars was the highest talent below the son of heaven or the daughter of heaven. Give it to him? Yelu D asked in return. That's right. We've investigated it very clearly. Although Mu Yun's talent is high, he has a huge weakness, which is that he values friendship. He definitely won't kill this world god turtle and Ling Yue, so the final result will definitely be Mu Yun's death. After killing Lu Ming, there's no need to keep these 2 people alive. So what if we give them the pill furnace first? When the time comes, won't it be easy to get it back? The heavenly human clan woman said. Of course, she said this through sound transmission to avoid being heard by Dandan. That's right. Yelu D's eyes lit up. He then looked at Dandan and said, I can agree to your conditions. After saying that, he took out a storage ring, fiddled with it a few times, and threw it at Dandan, saying, there are 300 pill furnaces with a diameter of 1 meter and Master's pill furnace with a diameter of 3 meters. Take a look. Dandan received it and scanned it with his spiritual sense, revealing a trace of a smile. Inside, there were indeed 310 pill furnaces. Dandan kept them in his storage ring and then looked at Ling Yue. Then, he looked at Lu Ming. Mu Yun, for the sake of our many years of friendship, you should give up your life. This way, you can still save your fiancé's life. Dandan shouted and rushed towards Lu Ming. Ling Yue followed closely beside Dandan and walked side by side. However, after the 2 of them rushed out for a distance, they stopped. After Dandan stopped, he waved his hands continuously. Countless runes filled the air and entered the void. These runes intertwined with each other to form a huge formation. What are you doing? Why are you setting up a formation here? Why aren't you going to kill Mu Yun? Yelu D berated. What are you in such a hurry for? Do you think Mu Yun is so easy to kill? I set up the formation to kill him. Dandan said, and continued to set up the formation. The people of celestial race could only wait. Lu Ming watched from afar and frowned. He could not figure out Dandan's goal, but in his heart, he had a bad premonition. More than 10 minutes later, a huge array diagram appeared in the sky. A huge array was condensed. Attack! Dandan and Ling Yue looked at each other, shouted, and began to attack. The array diagram in the sky emitted a dazzling light and condensed into a spear. With a swoosh, the spear flew through the air at an extremely fast speed. However, this long spear was not aimed at Lu Ming. Instead, it was aimed at Yelu D. When Dandan made his move, Ling Yue also made her move. Behind her, a towering tree appeared. At this moment, the towering tree burned fiercely, turning into an endless amount of strength chi that poured into Ling Yue's body. A battle bow appeared in Ling Yue's hand. She drew the bow and an arrow condensed. With a swoosh, it flew through the air and shot towards Yelu D. Ling Yue was going all out with this arrow. She burned her divine power with all her might. The cultivation of the 2 of them had already reached the 8th level of the Divine Lord realm. This was far beyond Lu Ming's expectations. In fact, the reason why Dandan and Ling Yue's cultivations were able to make such great progress was completely due to the nurturing of the celestial race. The people of the celestial race wanted to control the two of them to kill Lu Ming, so they gave them a large amount of desolate pills to raise their cultivation. Their cultivation was too low. Even if Lu Ming wanted them to kill him, they wouldn't be able to. The purpose of giving Dandan and Ling Yue a large amount of resources to raise their cultivation was to kill Lu Ming. They never thought that the two of them would attack them instead. End of chapter. Chapter 4371. You are courting death. Yelu Di roared as a long spear condensed in his palm. The long spear shook and turned into two spear shadows, colliding with Dandan and Ling Wei's attacks, easily destroying their attacks. Yelu Di's cultivation was at the 9th level of the Emperor God realm, and he had a battle strength of 10 stars. Although Dandan and Ling Wei had reached the 8th level of the Emperor God realm and were using their full strength, they were still far from Yelu Di's strength. Mu Yun, here you go. At this moment, Dandan waved his hand and a storage ring flew towards Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. Then, Dandan and Ling Wei shouted and rushed towards Yelu Di. Not good. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. He finally guessed what Dandan and Ling Wei's goal was. They didn't plan to attack Lu Ming at all. From the beginning, they had the heart to die. They would rather die than attack Lu Ming. They understood Lu Ming very well. If they attacked Lu Ming would most likely not fight back. They would definitely not kill Lu Ming. Their only choice was to sacrifice themselves. Turning to attack Yelu Di and the others, their fate was already decided. Stop, I'll give you one more chance. Stop, or your body and soul will be destroyed. Yelu Di roared. So much nonsense, you're the one who's going to die. Dandan shouted as he controlled the formation and continued to attack. Ling Yue, on the other hand, did not say a word. She drew her bow and another arrow flew out. Despicable bastards, since you're courting death, then die for me. Yelu Di roared as the formation plate in his hand emitted a dazzling light. He had already activated the formation and activated the restrictive power in Dandan and Ling Yue's bodies. The restrictive power of the heavenly palace armor spread into every cell in their bodies. At this moment, it burst out from every cell. A wave of energy spread out from their bodies like flames, burning fiercely. Their bodies started to crumble under this power. Damn it, stop! Lu Ming roared. His eyes were about to pop out of their sockets as he rushed out to help. However, it was already too late. The power of the restrictions on the Heavenly Palace battle armor exploded too quickly. Dandan and Ling Yue's bodies were quickly dissipating like a wisp of dust that was blown away by the wind. By the time Lu Ming rushed out of the earth vein, the bodies of the two had already completely collapsed. There were only two balls of light floating in the air. These two balls of light were the souls of Dandan's duo. However, the power of the Heavenly Palace armor was too terrifying. Not only could it destroy the body, but it could also destroy the soul. At this moment, their souls were also burning like flames, as if they would be destroyed at any moment. But at this time, runes suddenly spread out from their souls. These runes interweaved into a mysterious pattern, enveloping the souls of the two people within. At the same time, the void began to ripple like water. This power enveloped the souls of both of them. Under the dual effects of the rune and the rune formation, the restrictive power was suppressed, and the souls of the two men stopped disintegrating. However, although their souls had stopped disintegrating, their eyes were tightly shut. There was no movement at all, nor was there any sign of life. Lu Ming's heart sank. At the same time, he pushed his speed to the limit and rushed towards Dandan and Ling Yue's souls, wanting to protect their souls. Yelu Di and the rest of the heavenly human race were stunned at first. In their opinion, as long as they activated the power of the restriction, the two of them would die. Whether it was their bodies or souls, they would not be left behind and would vanish into thin air. However, their souls seemed to be protected by two forces. What was going on? However, they quickly reacted. No matter what kind of power you have, you will be destroyed today. Not a single trace can be left behind. Yelu Di said coldly. He took a step forward and attacked Dandan and Ling Yue's souls. A violent power erupted, wanting to completely crush their souls. Scram! Lu Ming roared. His eyes were about to split open as he used the heaven-splitting style. His body turned into a spear light and stabbed towards Yalu Di. Mu Yun. Yalu Di's eyes burst into flames. He directly abandoned Dandan and Ling Yue's souls and turned to attack Lu Ming. His target was originally Lu Ming. Now, Lu Ming had actually taken the initiative to leave the Earth Vein and leave the protection. How could he miss this opportunity? Holding the spear in his hand, he stabbed towards Lu Ming like an invincible war god. The spear light and the spear collided in the air, erupting with an earth-shattering boom. The spear light that Lu Ming had transformed into trembled continuously. In the next moment, it directly collapsed. Lu Ming's body shook violently as he retreated explosively. In a head-on confrontation, Lu Ming was no match for him. The other party had 10 stars of battle strength. His overall battle strength was 1 star higher than Lu Ming's. Kill! Yalu Di roared. His spear did not stop. It turned into thousands of spear shadows and attacked Lu Ming. Lu Ming blocked a few moves in a row. Unfortunately, he was no match for him. He coughed out blood and retreated. If he had not mastered many ancient secret techniques, his body would have been pierced by the spear. Even so, he was incomparably embarrassed. Yalu Di, do you want to take all the benefits for yourself? Mu Yun, leave it to me. The heavenly human tribe woman also rushed over at this moment. She held a long sword in her hand and thousands of sword shadows stabbed towards Lu Ming. This woman's battle strength was no weaker than Yalu Di's. She also wanted to kill Lu Ming. This was a great merit. How could she let Yalu Di enjoy it alone? Facing the power of 2 experts, even if Lu Ming had mastered many secret techniques and had many adaptations, it was still very dangerous. He barely managed to block a few moves. His body was swept by a sword light and was almost split in half. Die for me! The heavenly human tribe woman shouted coldly. She wanted to kill Lu Ming in one go. However, at this moment, a sword light suddenly shot out from the other side and blocked the heavenly human tribe woman's sword light. It was Yiling. Just now, when Lu Ming moved, he also rushed out. However, he was 1 step slower and arrived just in time. Traitor Yiling, do you want to die? The heavenly human tribe woman obviously knew Yiling. She shouted coldly, and the sharp sword light went straight for Yiling's forehead. Yiling pushed his battle strength to the extreme and counterattacked with all his might. The 2 sword lights fought fast and collided more than 10 times in an instant. However, Yiling's combat power was also 1 star lower than his opponent's. He was no match for him. After a dozen exchanges, he was hit by a sword beam. A deep sword wound appeared on his chest, dripping with blood. Kill! Kill! Yalu Di, the heavenly human tribe woman, and even the other experts of the heavenly human tribe all attacked. They charged towards Lu Ming together, wanting to kill Lu Ming and obtain the greatest merit. With so many people attacking together, and several of them were experts of the same level as Yalu Di, Lu Ming definitely could not avoid them. End of chapter. Chapter 4372. There were at least 4 experts who were at the same level as Yalu Di. Lu Ming could not handle one of them, let alone the 4 of them. Lu Ming was no match for them at all. Even with Yiling, it was useless. He could not avoid them even if he wanted to. It seemed that Lu Ming and Yiling were about to be in danger. All of a sudden, ripples spread through the air like water. First, the souls of Dandan and Ling Yue flickered and disappeared from their original positions. Then, Yalu Di and the others seemed to have fallen into a quagmire. They were greatly hindered and their bodies slowed down. Space-time power. Who is it? Come out. Yalu Di roared, and the heavenly annihilation power erupted. The long spear swept across, and there was an explosion in the void. The force was forcibly split open. The other experts also used their strongest heavenly force to break open the force. It's really space-time power. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. His eyes flashed. He was very familiar with the space-time power. It came from bubbles. Could it be? There was no time to think. Lu Ming shouted, "Let's go." At this moment, Yalu Di and the others were disturbed by the space-time power. It was a good opportunity to escape. Lu Ming and Yiling took the opportunity to leave their original positions. They appeared thousands of miles away and escaped the encirclement. You want to leave? Go to hell. Yellow D roared and held the long spear in his hand. His entire body was shrouded in the heavenly annihilation power. He was like a destructive god of war. He chased after Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. As soon as Lu Ming escaped the encirclement, Yellow D had already arrived. The other 3 experts of the same level were not slow either. 3 attacks were aimed at Lu Ming's vital points. However, as soon as their attacks were launched, the space around them rippled again. The space was like water, filled with layers of ripples. It was as if time had frozen in that area. This was an extremely powerful space-time power. It pressed down on the people of the heavenly human tribe and slowed their movements. Lu Ming and Yi Ling took the opportunity to dodge the attacks again. How dare you meddle in our affairs? Get out here. A burly prodigy of the heavenly human tribe wielded a heavy battle sword and slashed at a spot in the void. A huge sword light slashed out violently, and a huge explosion occurred in the void. A petite figure suddenly appeared in the void in front of him. She seemed to be surrounded by layers of space, as if she was not in this space-time. The sword light slashed out, but it was unable to hit the figure. Instead, it was exploited by the space-time power layer by layer, and finally disappeared. Bubbles, Lu Ming exclaimed in surprise. That's right, this petite figure was Bubbles. Lu Ming definitely wouldn't be mistaken. They hadn't seen each other for many years. Even though Bubble had grown up a lot and looked like a 15 or 16-year-old girl, Lu Ming still recognized her at a glance. The aura of the origin of life wouldn't change. Bubbles' figure flickered and disappeared from the primordial world. In the next moment, it appeared beside Lu Ming. Big brother Lu Ming, Bubble exclaimed in surprise. She actually recognized Lu Ming. Moreover, she used the voice transmission method, as if she was afraid that others would know. Bubble, why are you here? How did you recognize me? Lu Ming couldn't help but ask. So you're a space-time spirit mouse. How dare you? Space-time spirit mice. Are you trying to annihilate your tribe? Yellow D shouted coldly. His killing intent was cold and his eyes flashed with a cold light. They recognized Bubbles' true form at a glance. I'll explain later. Let's retreat first, Bubble said. The space-time power spread out and brought Lu Ming and Yi Ling back to the Earth vein. You want to retreat? You can't. Kill. The 4 top prodigies of the heavenly human tribe attacked at the same time. They attacked Lu Ming, Bubble, and the others. In addition, there were more than a dozen experts of the heavenly human tribe who were weaker. These second-rate experts were also very terrifying. Every one of them could fight with Lu Ming and Yi Ling. Any one of them could threaten their lives. With so many experts attacking at the same time, Lu Ming and the group felt a deadly sense of crisis. Space-time. At this moment, Bubble shouted. Her delicate body emitted a powerful aura. 9th layer divine god realm. Lu Ming realized that Bubble's cultivation had reached the 9th layer divine god realm. This was shocking. One must know that when Bubble and Dandan had left together, Bubble's cultivation was not very high back then. Her cultivation was even inferior to Dandan's. However, Bubble's cultivation had now far surpassed Dandan's. Bubble must have had an amazing fortuitous encounter. When Lu Ming participated in the selection of heavenly soldiers in the heavenly palace, he met Dandan but did not see Bubble. Lu Ming was very curious and had asked Dandan where Bubble was. Dandan had said that Bubble had entered one of the ancestral lands of the space-time spirit mice. That was all. Lu Ming knew that Bubble had entered one of the ancestral lands of the space-time spirit mice. He didn't know anything else. So many years had passed in the blink of an eye. They hadn't seen each other until now, but Bubble had already shown her amazing cultivation. Not only did Bubble show her cultivation of the 9th layer divine god realm, but at the same time, her glabella emitted a dazzling light. Then, 2 words flew out. One was time, and the other was space. The 2 words flew up into the sky and rapidly became bigger. Each word was as big as a planet and emitted a mysterious aura. The time and space of this area and this world seemed to be controlled by the 2 words. These are the origin ancient words time and space. Lu Ming was astonished. He recognized the 2 words at a glance. They were the origin ancient words. Bubble had controlled 2 origin ancient words. The most shocking thing was that they were time and space. They were compatible with Bubble's talent. The power they could unleash was unpredictable. Lu Ming was even more certain that Bubble had encountered an amazing fortuitous encounter. Whoosh! The space in this area was constantly distorted and then squeezed toward Yellow D and the others. To be honest, Yellow D and the others were shocked when they saw Bubble use the 2 origin ancient words. However, they quickly reacted. Do you think you can stop us with just the origin ancient words? Break. Even the power of space-time has to yield to the power of heaven. The heavenly human tribe Sky Prides roared, and the power of heaven burst out and swept in all directions. The power of heaven was indeed powerful. Even though Bubble was supported by the 2 origin ancient words, and the power of space-time was terrifyingly strong, it was still broken by them. However, the heavenly human tribe's members were still greatly affected. Bubble's strength was beyond their expectations. With the 2 origin ancient words as the foundation and her talent, she was able to compete with Yellow D, who had a 10-star battle strength. If she was just a support, she could unleash more power. Attack. Lu Ming and Bubble's tacit understanding was still there. When he saw that the heavenly human tribe's members were affected, he immediately attacked with all his strength. He turned into a spear light and stabbed toward Yellow D. End of chapter. Chapter 43-73. Lu Ming activated the sky-splitting form to the maximum and turned into a spear radiance, stabbing towards Yellow D. Break it! Yellow D roared and swung his spear, breaking through the space-time power and colliding with the spear radiance that Lu Ming had turned into. This time, Yellow D did not gain the upper hand. They were evenly matched. Both of them took a step back. Although Yellow D had broken through the space-time power, he was still greatly affected. His combat strength was reduced, and he could no longer suppress Lu Ming. At the same time, Yiling also took action and blocked the attack of the female Heavenly Human Tribe Supreme Talent. However, there were other experts from the Heavenly Human Tribe who charged towards Lu Ming and the rest. There were too many of them. Even with Bubble's space-time power, Lu Ming and the rest were still no match for them. However, at this moment, there was a terrifying sound of the air being torn apart. There were 8 attacks in total, and each attack was of a different color. However, their power was extremely shocking. These 8 attacks were directed towards the Heavenly Human Tribe. This is the power of 9 Orifices' Sacred Heart. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He was very familiar with this power. It was Autumn Moon's power of 9 Orifices' Sacred Heart. Indeed, Lu Ming looked around and saw a figure in the distance. Her entire body was shrouded in colorful light. If it was not Autumn Moon, who else could it be? It was obvious that Autumn Moon was not in this star palace previously, but in another star palace. Now, she must have crossed over to this star palace. The power of Autumn Moon's attack was extremely terrifying. Those who were hit by the colorful light were forced to retreat. In a flash, Autumn Moon arrived at the battlefield. She looked at Lu Ming with joy. Another one who is courting death. It's her, the traitor of the Heavenly Palace, the disciple of Master God Meng Su. Very well, since they're all here, let's get rid of them together. Yellow D and the rest shouted coldly. Some of them charged towards Autumn Moon. Autumn Moon, be careful, Lu Ming shouted. Autumn Moon smiled. His heart emitted a resplendent glow. There were 9 colors, but 8 of them were extremely dazzling. It was as if there was a colorful sun in his chest. 8 types of dazzling light intertwined together to form a colorful scimitar that slashed toward the Heavenly Human Tribe prodigy. Boom! The 8-colored scimitar collided with the Heavenly Human Race's prodigy. The Heavenly Human Race's prodigy's body trembled violently and retreated rapidly. A saber wound appeared on his arm, and it was almost chopped off. The prodigy of the Heavenly Human Tribe was no match for Autumn Moon. Even Lu Ming was stunned for a moment. Autumn Moon, what powerful strength! Lu Ming's heart thumped violently. That young genius from the Heavenly Human clan was one of the 4 strongest young geniuses there. He had the strength of the 9th Great Supreme God Layer and 10 stars of battle prowess. Such an expert was actually suppressed by Autumn Moon. Autumn Moon also has 10 stars of battle prowess, and his cultivation has reached the 9th great supreme god layer. Lu Ming judged Autumn Moon's battle prowess and cultivation level. He was truly shocked. It seemed that Autumn Moon had also obtained great opportunities in the other astral palaces. When Lu Ming first met Autumn Moon after leaving the Heavenly Palace, Autumn Moon's 9 orifices' sacred heart only had one color that was extremely dazzling. But now, Xiaoyu had a total of 8 orifices that were releasing powerful energy. There were 8 different colors, and they were incomparably dazzling. The power of the 9 orifices' sacred heart was almost fully unleashed. Autumn Moon's battle prowess was not any weaker than Yellow D's. It could be said that they were on the same level. Autumn Moon was able to gain the upper hand and injure the heavenly human tribe's prodigy with one strike because of Bubble's space-time energy. Sister Autumn Moon, you're so powerful. Let's continue, Bubble shouted excitedly, and continued to activate the 2 origin ancient words. The space-time energy continued to suppress the people of the heavenly human tribe. At the same time, Autumn Moon attacked. The power of the 9 orifices' sacred heart turned into a machete and slashed out continuously. The sky was filled with colorful light. In addition, Lu Ming and Yi Ling also attacked with all their might. For a moment, the people of the heavenly human tribe were forced to retreat. Damn it! The people of the heavenly human tribe roared in anger. On the surface, their battle prowess was clearly above Lu Ming's, but in reality, they were at a disadvantage. This was mainly because of the space-time energy. The space-time energy was too much of a hindrance to them. The space-time energy could be said to be the strongest auxiliary power, especially when it was supported by the 2 origin ancient words, time and space. The power that burst out was even more shocking. Even the supreme power of the heavenly human tribe could not break through it so easily. It did not mean that the space-time energy was stronger than the supreme power of the heavenly human tribe. The space-time energy of an ordinary space-time spirit mouse was far from that strong. It was definitely not comparable to the 4 supreme powers of the heavenly human tribe. However, Bubble was different. Bubble's talent was very high. With the help of the 2 origin ancient words, the space-time energy had undergone a qualitative change. It was no longer weaker than the supreme power. Being affected by the space-time energy, it was difficult for her to fully display her battle prowess. On the other hand, Autumn Moon's battle prowess could be fully displayed. Naturally, she could suppress the heavenly human tribe. No matter how angry the people of the heavenly human tribe were, they could not change the fact. They kept retreating. Some of the weaker ones were even injured and almost died here. Formation, 9 Heavens Battle Formation. Yellow D shouted at the strong men of the heavenly human tribe. There were hundreds of strong men of the heavenly human tribe in the surroundings. At this moment, they began to move, preparing to set up the 9 Heavens Battle Formation to deal with Lu Ming and the others. Bubble, bring us to destroy their formation, Lu Ming said to Bubble. Okay, Bubble replied. The space-time energy enveloped Lu Ming and the others. In a flash, Lu Ming and the others appeared among the heavenly human tribe. Then, the power of time and space exploded, and the void distorted, forming a powerful pressure. The strong men of the heavenly human tribe suddenly felt like they were in a quagmire. They tried their best, but their movements were as slow as a turtle's. There was a big gap between their strength and Bubble's. Naturally, it was not easy for them to break through Bubble's space-time energy. Kill! Lu Ming shouted. Spear radiance burst out, and instantly, 6 strong men of the 9th layer divine god realm were pierced through their foreheads by the spear radiance. They died immediately. At the same time, Yi Ling and Autumn Moon also attacked mercilessly. A wave of attacks killed more than 10 strong men of the heavenly human tribe. Under the influence of the space-time energy, they could not set up the 9 Heavens Battle Formation because there was not enough time. Damn it! Yellow D and the others were furious. Their eyes were bloodshot, and they could not wait to cut Lu Ming and the others into pieces. Unfortunately, they could not do it with their strength. Retreat! Retreat! In the end, Yellow D and the others had no choice but to give the order to retreat. They rushed over and broke through the space-time energy. In the blink of an eye, they were far away. They had come with such a big force, but in the end, they ran away in a sorry state. After the heavenly human tribe left, Lu Ming and the others returned to the earth vein. After all, there were 4 big trees guarding it, so it was safer. Chapter 4374. Big Brother Lu Ming, long time no see. I missed you so much. Bubbles directly hung on Lu Ming's neck, just like before. Cough, cough. Bubbles, be reserved, be reserved. You've grown up now, you're different from before. Lu Ming quickly coughed a few times, his old face slightly red. If Big Brother Lu Ming dislikes Bubbles, then just make them smaller. Bubbles jumped down from Lu Ming's neck and pouted. Her cute little face was filled with displeasure. How could that be? How could I dislike Bubbles? Lu Ming rubbed Bubbles' head and quickly changed the topic, asking, Bubbles, how did you recognize me? Am I a completely different person now? This was his present body, but Bubbles was able to recognize him at a glance. Furthermore, she directly helped him and offended the celestial race. This made him very curious. It was that guy Dandan who told me. Bubbles said, Dandan. At the mention of Dandan, Lu Ming's heart immediately sank, and he said, Bubbles, how are Dandan and the others? Quickly take them out and let's see. And Bubbles nodded. With a wave of his hand, Dandan and Ling Yue's souls appeared in the air. Both of their souls had their eyes tightly shut. Their souls were covered in layers of runes, and at the same time, they were enveloped by the power of time and space. It seemed that the situation was not good. Dandan used a formation to protect his soul, and then with my power of time and space, he temporarily suppressed the power of the restriction in his soul. However, he couldn't suppress it for long. In at most 3 years, their souls would also turn into ashes. Bubbles said, What? It can only be suppressed for 3 years? Lu Ming's heart shook violently, and his expression became even uglier. In 3 years, it will vanish into thin air. Is there no way to save it? Lu Ming asked. Yes, Dandan told me a method before. Bubbles said, Dandan told you a method? Could it be that Dandan had anticipated this? Lu Ming asked. Yes. Actually, Dandan had anticipated this day ever since he found out about your relationship with the Heavenly Palace. Later on, they were controlled into the Taishang Immortal City, and Dandan began to make arrangements. One time, he happened to meet me and told me about your situation. He also told me that the Heavenly Human Tribe would definitely use them to deal with you, Big Brother Lu Ming, so he had a backup plan. He set up a formation in his and Sister Yue's souls in advance. He asked me to help him with the power of time and space to buy time for them. I'll have to rely on you for the rest. Bubbles said, What does Dandan want me to do? Lu Ming asked. Dandan told me that before entering the Taishang Immortal City, he had read a lot of information and the experience passed down by the seniors of the Black Tortoise clan. He knew that there was an immortal mountain in the Tianque Star Palace, and there was a treasure called the 5 Elemental Fairy Tear. As long as you can get the 5 Elemental Fairy Tear, you can save them. Bubbles said, Tianque Star Palace, 5 Elemental Fairy Tear? Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a shocking light. He had to get it. Dandan was indeed a cunning old fox. He had left a way out for himself. Otherwise, how could he die so easily? Dandan had already made arrangements, and he would definitely complete the rest. There's no time to lose. I plan to set off immediately to the Tianque Star Palace to look for the 5 Elemental Fairy Tear. Lu Ming said, Young master, I'll go with you. Shou Yu said immediately, Big Brother Lu Ming, don't think about leaving me behind. Bubbles also said immediately. Their attitude was firm, and it was obvious that Lu Ming could not refuse. Brother Lu, how about this? I'll stay here and help you refine the desolation pills. Yi Ling said with a smile. Thank you. Lu Ming cupped his fists, feeling very grateful. Yi Ling knew him very well. Lu Ming's current cultivation was still a little weak. He was only in the 8th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. Only when he broke through to the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm would he be truly powerful and fearless. However, Lu Ming needed too many desolation pills to break through to the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm, a total of 12 billion. If they all went to the Tianque star area to look for the 5 elemental fairy tier, who would help Lu Ming refine the pills? What would Lu Ming use to break through? Yiling knew this very well. That was why he did not say that he wanted to look for the 5 elemental fairy tier. Instead, he said that he wanted to help Lu Ming refine the pills. This would be a great help to Lu Ming. After all, there was not much time left before they left the second level of the Taishang Immortal City. Brother Lu Ming, I also have many pill furnaces here. Take them. Bubbles waved his hand and a large pile of pill furnaces flew out. There were no less than 300 of them. Bubble alone actually had so many pill furnaces. This was too shocking. However, after thinking about it, it made sense. The space-time energy was too mysterious. It might not be the strongest in terms of offense, but in other aspects, it was extremely mysterious. With the space-time energy, it would be much easier for him to obtain pill furnaces than others. Young master, I have some too. Autumn also took out her pill furnaces. Autumn did not have many pill furnaces, only a little more than 100. Lu Ming did not stand on ceremony. He took all of them and handed them to Yiling. With so many pill furnaces, he should be able to gather enough desolation pills in 10 years. Even if it was not enough, it would not be too far away. Brother Yi, I'll leave this place to you. Lu Ming said, It's okay. With the 4 trees, they can't do anything to me. Yiling smiled. Then I'll take my leave. Lu Ming cupped his fists and gave the 4 trees an order. Then, he left with Bubbles and Autumn Moon. After Lu Ming and the other 2 left, they purposely revealed their whereabouts to the heavenly human tribe. He did this to prevent the heavenly human tribe from gathering their forces and besieging the Earth vein in the future. The 4 trees alone might not be able to stop them. However, after he left, the heavenly human tribe would not have to risk their lives to besiege the Earth vein. That way, Yiling could refine the desolation pills in peace. It would affect whether he could break through to the 9th level of the divine god realm. He could not be careless. Not long after, Lu Ming and the others came to an open space. Autumn Moon and Bubbles had crossed the starry sky barrier to come here. Naturally, they knew where the space was weaker. The space here was weaker, and it was easier to break through the barrier. I'll go first, Bubbles cried out. With a wave of her little hand, the space was forcefully torn apart. Brother Lu Ming, I'll go first, Bubbles said. She took a step forward and disappeared into the space. Apparently, she had entered another star palace. Young master, you go first. Autumn Moon looked at Lu Ming. All right, Lu Ming nodded. Forbidden energy burst out and his palms slashed down like a knife. One could not bring others to cross the barrier of the Star Palace. The person who broke through the barrier could only pass through and could not bring others with him. Bubbles burst and only she could pass through. She could not bring Lu Ming and Autumn Moon with her. If Lu Ming and Autumn Moon wanted to pass through, they could only do it themselves. Swoosh. Lu Ming's palm slashed down and the space was torn apart. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.